Hello, this is Richard Law with the Society of Field Inspectors. I want to talk to you a little bit today about performing inspections in rural areas. I lived in Northern Virginia up in Fairfax County and spent most of my week up there. And I was also a real estate broker, so inspections were kind of like a backup gig for me. But I also had a a weekend house, a vacation type home down at Lake Anna, Virginia, which was a couple hours away. And I would always travel down there on the weekend, just to kind of, enjoy the lake. And I would try to do some inspections on the way down there and maybe on the way back just to make some extra money. And again, the area was very, very, very rural. Okay. And I would often get phone calls from companies and they would say, "Hey, can you do a inspection in central Virginia down where the lake house was?" And I would say, "Well, tell me the address, give me the address and tell me what kind of inspection it is. And I will give you a price that I can do the inspection for." And so that's what they would do. They would give me the area where the inspection was to be performed, and I could, I knew the area pretty well, so I could come up with a price within about 10 seconds. Really, they would say the area's in Culpeper, and I would give them a price for Culpeper, and I would make my route heading down to Lake Anna, going through Culpeper. If there was something in Fredericksburg, I would kind of change my route to go through Fredericksburg when I was heading south. So I always knew, where the inspection was exactly, and I set my price on what it would take for me to do the inspection. And some companies would give me the inspection right away. I would say, send me a quick email, with what you need and also include in there the price you're going to pay. Because I never wanted to have discussions later on what the price was. I always wanted to know specifically what the price was, the fee was, and I wanted to make sure they knew specifically what they were going to pay. So that's the way it usually worked. And sometimes I'd run into a company who would say, "Well, that's just too much. We're really not going to make any money on it if we pay you that much, the fee you're asking for." And the way I respond to that is I would say, "Well, I says, agree with me today and I'll get the inspection done, on Friday, and you'll have it done and your customer will be happy. But if I don't get the work and you spend the rest of the afternoon kind of shopping around looking for an inspector, you're going to be kind of wasting a lot of your time. And you're probably not going to find anyone in that area that's going to do the inspection for less than what I'm offering." So I would leave that with them. And I would say also call me back and let me know if you need it done and I'll get it done Friday. And oftentimes I'd get a call back later in the day because they couldn't find anyone. And they would give me the work and they would send the work and they would also send in the email the price that they were going to pay. So that's the way you got to kind of work rural areas. You got to work the inspections on your terms and not their terms because you need to make money, and everything you do in life, you need to make some money. And that works very well. Sometimes you're not going to get the work, but you don't want the work for a lower fee anyways. And oftentimes you will get the work because the company is got to get the work done. They just, can't let it go. They won't have any customers if they don't satisfy them. So if you kind of present it that way to them, you're going to get the work because really you're probably the only choice they have. And so that's the way you do rural inspections. And if you try to cover a huge area and do a lot of these out of area inspections, you're not going to make any money. You're just going to wear out your car and be frustrated and again not make any money. So be specific. Get the address. Give them a price. If you get the work, fine. You got a good price. If you don't get the work, that's good also because you didn't want to do it for the price they were offering. So give me a call if you have any questions on that. You can reach me in Florida at 352-324-6042 and check out that starter package at www.sophiestore.com. That package will give you a quick start, a fast start. We'll mail to you a printed directory. We'll create a very nice resume for you, and we'll make ourselves available to answer the phone and answer your questions and kind of keep you focused. So check that out. And all of our products come with a satisfaction guarantee, so there's no risk to you. So, like I say, call me if you need anything, and we can chat, and I can give you some ideas on how to get things going.